Wee! I've got a spicy one for you. You want to hit that like button right away because they're going to bury this as soon as humanly possible. And I know that there are people that are going to have some trepidation when they read this, and they're going to feel like defeatist, but I'm going to tell you why this is actually an awesome thing. So, the list that is probably thousands of people deep. Some of the most powerful people on the planet, many suspect, are on that list. That guy's list that went to that island and spent time with young ones. Well, just in, more than 170 people on that list are now set to be named publicly in just a few days. Spicy. I mean, this is going to get... Now, I hear you saying, groaning, it's probably just going to be a few low-level Republicans and everyone else. Look, it's a start. 170 people is not 3, okay? And that means that parts of it are starting to come out, and it's going to be very interesting to see who that individual is. We're going to talk about this more in depth on my daily Rumble stream, which is at 1 Eastern. From 1 Eastern to 3 Eastern, I'm live every single day. We have about 5,000 beautiful, good-smelling people tuning in every day. I would absolutely love if you popped over there. I'm not asking you to leave YouTube. Just come hang out for the stream. Link will be in the pinned comment. We have a lot of fun. It's uncensored, unfiltered. And if you're just chilling at work, a lot of people just tune in and have me on in the background, and I'm appreciative of that. So link in the pinned comment, or just go to Rumble, search for The Quartering, you'll be able to find it too. Over 170 of Mr. Jeffrey's high-profile associates will now be named in court documents set to be unsealed in the first days of 2024. Dozens of his high-profile associates are in for a New Year's surprise, as they will be named in court documents set to be released in the first days of just a few days from now. The Creep's powerful friends are set to be revealed as part of a vast unsealing that a judge ordered on Monday will take place in 14 days. That will take the release date exactly to January 1st, New Year's Day. But as that is a holiday, it's likely the files will be made public the following day, which we're going to go through again on the live stream when I can actually say these words, Some 177 people will be identified across hundreds of files, which will shed new light on the late financier's operations and his network of influence. I mean, I know the doomer in you might be saying, we're not, but 170 people is a lot of people. I mean, right now, his wife is in prison for a crime that has apparently 0 participants. So now we have 177 of them. That's a pretty big jump from 0. Certainly, it's going to be interesting. Are we going to just see some everyday run-of-the-mill creeps? Probably. But 177 people involved in this, I think people are going to be surprised. I think more people than folks think are going to be on this list. Maybe that's just me wearing rose-colored glasses, being optimistic. But, I mean, I can't even speculate who's on this list, because it's like, okay, 177 people on his list, right? Well, it's not like Joe Schmo, the deli owner, was on that plane visiting that island. It was highly influential political figures, people in Hollywood, people with lots of money and power, and all around the world. So when you talk about nearly 200 of them, this isn't going to be just a few Joe Blows. I really don't think so. I think that you're going to see some actual people. Now, are the real people that we really feel like should be on that list? Is Bill Gates going to be on there? Probably not. But you never know. Judge Loretta Prescott, by the way, rest in peace. I'm kidding. Sort of. Wrote unsealed in full next to the names of 177 does who are his friends, recruiters, those on the receiving end, and others whose name will now be revealed in the material released in the coming weeks. The material is related to a defamation case brought by Prince Andrew's accuser, Virginia Roberts, in New York against, Ghislaine. Roberts sued Maxwell for defamation in 2016, and while the case was settled, media outlets filed in order to have the documents made public. Some of the does are identified in the ruling through links to interviews they have given to the media, which the judge cited as a reason they should not stay private. They include housekeepers at the island and things of that nature. In the ruling, the judge gives just 14 days for any does who's objected to their documents being made public to object, after which they will be unsealed in full. There will be documents about Prince Andrew's, those that claimed Prince Andrew was up to no good, which is certainly, remember that guy, like, I have a disease where I sweat or something like that. That guy was obviously up to no good on that, at least in my opinion. Okay. There will also be material about Haley Robson, who was named as a recruiter in the original police files back from the original investigation in 2006 in Palm Beach, though she has more recently claimed that she was also a victim too, of course. The filing suggests that some documents will relate to Jean-Luc Brunel, a French model scout who was close to Jeffrey and allegedly, took advantage of many women. Brunel, of course, this, by the way, I don't know if you knew this, but Brunel self-deleted in a prison cell in 2022 while awaiting trial. So it's curious how many of these people are just accidentally self-deleting in prison before anything can hit the public records. I think that speaks to potentially, I don't know this, but potentially the level of how deep this goes, where people, hypothetically, maybe they're like, look, if you testify, it's not going to be you, you're screwed already, but it's going to be your family, your family's friends, your pets. That's how this stuff works. I'm not saying that's what happened here. I can't know that. Documents in the case have been released on a rolling basis since 2019. What a great election year. Oh boy. 2024 is going to be a banger. When the first batch was made public, of course, after Jeffrey also self-deleted. Among the revelations of previous batch of documents were emails between the prince and Jeffrey when there were claims made about him. The batch of 177 does is the final group and includes many who were notified by the court but did not object to the documents with their names on them being made public. Now, maybe some of these people you see here, the material is likely to include depositions, emails, legal documents, and other materials not previously made public. Could you have been on that list and not been a creepazoid? Yes. Maybe you just worked for the guy. You didn't know anything about it. Maybe you were, a friend of somebody who had made a claim, so you had to get deposed in court, this kind of stuff. But certainly there will also be people who are on this list that were, accusations were made about them. Those 3 and 4 appear to be Miles and Kathy Alexander, a South African couple who managed the island. Interesting. Judge Preska cited a 2011 interview the couple gave to the Daily Mail as one of the reasons why their names should be made public. In the interview, the couple claimed that it was not their place to judge other people, even though they suspected that some of the girls on that island were in fact very young. What do you mean suspected? You knew. And yes, it is your place to judge them when you're flying in little ones from around the planet to entertain creeps. Kathy described of how the Duke of York arrived with a blonde brain surgeon in her 30s, and then he, that's a weird story. I'm not going to read about that. The tranche of documents will also include those referring to Annie Farmer, one of the women who gave evidence at Ghislaine's trial. She's identified as Doe 63, as Judge Praska cites an interview she gave and notes she testified on her own name. I mean, there's 177 of these people. Certainly some of them have already kind of publicly outed themselves, as the judge has pointed out here, in, whether they're doing TV interviews or they wrote a book or maybe they have their own lawsuits pending and all this kind of stuff. But it's very, very interesting. Perhaps the most alarming for Prince Andrew is the inclusion of Johanna Schulberg, one of the ones that we know were too young on the list of does. So far, only a small excerpt of her depositions have been made public, and those have been quite damning already for him. So all of this stuff that people said, I mean, just watch over the next couple of weeks how many prominent figures maybe perhaps have something happen to them, or perhaps, check out. Because certainly the prince has already had numerous, I mean, he just looks very, 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 very guilty of some very bad behavior. And I'm sure his money and power and connections to the royal family are why he's not in prison. But all of this stuff, see, like, people are going to look at this and be all doomer-pilled about it and be like, well, they're not going to give us Bill Gates, so it doesn't matter. Trust me, it does matter. Because all of the things that were said about these people look like they're going to be released. So even if their names aren't publicly in there, or if they're, they're not particularly, outright implicated, you're going to see all the things that these people said they saw on the island. In depositions, she recalled that she returned to the Grand Home after some sightseeing, and Prince Andrew was there with a couple of other young ones. You know what I mean? Like, it is, it was all done. I mean, yikes. Yikes. This is going to be a big yikes for probably Prince Andrew. I suspect 177, again, including in that 177 will be people that were on the receiving end of bad behavior, right? People that testified, people that wrote emails or letters or depositions to try and get this guy put in prison. I suspect, keep an eye on Prince Andrew. He's one that I think, he's a slithered out of, hard implications, any real crimes for some time, but only barely. So once this comes out, expect a lot of these people to be very, 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 very concerned. There are a lot of very nervous people right now that their names are going to be in these emails or listed, and they're going to get out to the public, and people are going to find out who they really are. I see this as an absolute win. Obviously, we want the entire list unredacted, but this is definitely a start. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you leave a like on it. Make sure you come on over to Rumble at 1 Eastern. I'm there live Monday through Friday, 1 Eastern to 3 Eastern. So 2 hours every single day. We have a lot of fun. It's completely uncensored, completely unhinged at times. And I hope that you'll join me. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like on it. We'll talk to you again real soon.